Humans of the Cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're looking at the release of the new V-Jump promo card in the OCG. Is it a new modernized version of Future Fusion called a couple different names here, I guess. It looks like Super Future Polymerization, Over Future Fusion, or Over Future Fusion seems to be the name that has the highest chance of ending up being the TCG name. It looks cool. It looks like a revamped version of Future Fusion. Let's see how she runs. It's a V-Jump promo, so these tend to not be the most insane cards competitively, but we'll see. You never know. We got Diviner of the Herald not too long ago as a V-Jump promo, so that still gives me a little bit of hope. But let's see. All right, this is a continuous spell card, just like the original Future Fusion. This card reads, during your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck and send one of the fusion materials mentioned on it by name from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, you cannot special summon monsters with that name nor activate their monster effects for the rest of this turn. Eek. Ooh. That is so rough. I mean, the best thing I can think of for this is like dumping Visas Starfrost, because then you can still make like Vicious Astrolaud like somewhat easy there. You can just get any of the heart monsters engraved, but that's the best target I can think of to dump off of this. Otherwise, this is just spell card form of what's his name? Destiny Hero or Elemental Hero Prisma. But this restriction is brutal. You can't even summon it, even if with its effects negated. That is tough. But okay. Second effect, fusion summon one Dark Machine fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard. And you can only use each of this card's name, each effect of this card's name once per turn. I'm assuming the way that's worded, you can only use each effect. I think this means that you can use each of these two effects once per turn each, not just this. Normally when I see this worded off of translations like this, it'd say you can only use this card's first effect. See how this has like the one next to it? Usually it would say like this, you can only use this card's first effect once per turn. But this says each effect. So I'm assuming that means you can use each of these once in the same turn. So you do get the dump and the ability to do the fusion. That's not the worst thing in the world. The only thing is we don't have a ton of great targets. And maybe this is a card that actually could come up in Cyber Dragon specifically down the line. Right now it's not there, for sure. One, the brutality of like dumping a Cyber Dragon and then not being able to summon any Cyber Dragons for the rest of the turn is pretty brutal, because not only does Cyber Dragon, obviously he's Cyber Dragon, every other Cyber Dragon name counts as Cyber Dragon, so I'm pretty sure you're locking yourself out of those as well, which is rough. So yeah, this restriction is pretty brutal. I donate this effect, right? Just fusing from grave is pretty good, and this is continuous, so this just sits on the field. This is the ability to do this every single turn. With where we are right now, I don't think it does that much. But I do think it's possible that, like, if we get Cyber Dragon support every couple of years. We haven't got some in a little while. What if we get new Cyber Dragon support that, like, has a fusion monster with a good interruption effect, and it just takes 2 Cyber Dragons. So now this card becomes a way of just put any 2 Cyber Dragons in grave every single turn. This card pumps out that fusion monster, if that exists, right? Right now it's basically like Cyber Twin Dragon to push for a lot of damage, potentially Cyber End Dragon for just a big beater. I don't know if any of the other targets are quite worth it. Let me know if there are any that are like interesting that we have right now. I guess Rampage is a pretty good one, but it's not an interruption, right? So you need to be killing your opponent. Although Rampage is actually not bad now that I think about it, right? Because you can just make Rampage off of this. Get the double send to her, send a core, add a core. But I guess it depends on if you had to use that first effect. Is that locking you out of core? Otherwise, that does give you access to core. That is actually maybe a little more interesting than I thought even now, but I do think does still have potential down the line. But right now, it really feels like there's not really a lot of great options for right now, especially outside of Cyber Dragons. But we'll see. If you're a bigger Cyber Dragon fan than me, I like the deck, but I'm not an uber fan of it. So if you're a bigger fan than me, let me know if there's any other applications for this card in Cyber Dragon specifically, or if there's anything else that's off the top of your head that this could be good for. Let me know your thoughts down below. It is still somewhat a generic send. You are just pretty brutally locked under it, but still interesting. But I'm out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Let me know your thoughts on the card. Like I said, I'll bring you any more news as it comes. I think we only have one more card for Animation Chronicle. My guess is it comes out tomorrow. We'll see, though. They've been finishing pretty damn strong with like some of the strongest cards in the entire set. Hopefully tomorrow's no exception. But I'll obviously bring you that as it comes. So subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more of that. I will see you in the next one, though. Peace.